What is good? What is good, everybody? Hope everybody is doing well on this Tuesday, Playoff Tuesday, MLB Playoff Tuesday, the beginning of the wild card series um, for 8 teams. It starts today, 4 games today. One has already been played. One is in in play at the moment, and we got two more tonight. But the big game that everybody's talking about, at least over here in New York and in the Bronx, we got the New York Yankees taking on the Boston Red Sox, one of the biggest rivalries in sports, period. Football, baseball, basketball, college. Red Sox versus Yankees is one of the biggest rivalries in all of sports, and that is tonight. Actually, in less than an hour, and about 6:08 is the first pitch, and I'm pretty amped for it. Last year the Yankees um, were the second best team in baseball as they lost to the Dodgers. They lost in five, I believe. Did they get swept? They lost to five. Either way, they lost to the Dodgers last year. And the Red Sox have owned the Yankees since 2003. No, 2004. Since 2004, everybody knows the remarkable comeback where the Red Sox were down 3 games to nothing, and they came all the way back to win four straight to beat the Yankees 4 out of 7 in 7 games, and they went on to win their first World Series since like 1918 and broke the curse of the Big Bambino Babe Ruth curse. And ever since that, the Yankees and Red Sox, whenever they met in the playoffs, the Red Sox has dominated. Back in 2018, the Red Sox won in the best of five. They won in 4 games. They won 3 games to 1. And then in 2021, the Red Sox defeated the Yankees in a 1 game playoff in the wild card as well. So they've owned the Yankees, and they've owned the Yankees this year in 2025 as well. They went 9-4 this year versus the Yankees. They pretty much been dominating the Yankees over the last 3 years. This year, like I said, they won 9 games to 4. The Yankees won the last 3 of 4, and they won the last series 2 out of 3. But still, it's not pretty good when you lose four to your biggest rivalry. Last year, the Yankees, they had the upper hand. They won 7 games to 6, very close competitive series. But the year before that, the Red Sox won 9 games to 4, right, in the regular season. So let's see what happens tonight. Can the Yankees kind of stop this streak? Let me see who's in the building real quick. Say what's up. Tay Tay, what is good? The real queen of MMA and combat talk. Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Just Ask Swan. Let's go, Red Sox. That hurts, but I get it. One of my co-hosts, Socrates Palmer, is a big time Red Sox fan. So we're gonna, go back and forth with this one. And he's pretty much loving the series the way it's been played out since 2004. You know, who else? Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. Salute to you. Salute to you. Yeah, do me a favor if you guys can hit that like button, share the video. Help spread out the content as best you can. I'm going to go briefly into it. I'm still at work. I'm here in the office still. Haven't gone home. Been pretty busy. Look at me here at work, here in my button down, casual with my hat on. I'm in one of the conference rooms. I'm not in my desk right now. So let me take this off the screen for a quick second so you guys can see that I am still in the office here. Got my headphones on and stuff, so I'm in one of the conference rooms. So I figured I'd just do this real quick and just go through a brief kind of recap of the regular season. Just want to go over that. In the beginning, I didn't do really much baseball content. Pretty much did only one video all year, and that was before the first game of the season where we put in our prop bets. And I just want to report that I did pretty good on my prop bets today. So hold on one sec. I just noticed I messed up something here. Let me change that. Sorry, I didn't change the logo there. I did pretty good on my prop bets this year. If you was following that video and you looked at and then went over the bets that I'd made, and I even posted Socrates Palmer's plays, we did pretty well. Right. One of the bets we took the Reds over. We took the Reds over team total wins of 78.5. They won, I believe, 83 games or 82 games. And I took them to make the playoffs, and they made the playoffs on the very last day of the season. Thanks for the New York Mets. Their big collapse this year. The New York Mets were supposed to, you know, they were supposed to at least make the playoffs. They were supposed to make a deep playoff run after last year's season. And last year, they made a deep playoff run out of nowhere. They made a big signing. The biggest signing in baseball this year was Juan Soto. And The big collapse. Juan Soto. Um, he produced. He did a little something. He got pretty much killed like maybe the first couple months of the season, but he had a solid year. But you know what? Shout out to Juan Soto and his agent for getting one of the best contracts in history. Not only he got paid. I mean, he got some extra time off and some extra vacation days because no postseason for him or the New York Mets. So also as of today, let's see. Today, the first game of the playoffs, we had the Detroit Tigers playing at Cleveland. Cleveland, probably one of the hottest teams in baseball, came out of nowhere and just snuck in and took one of the last two wild card spots in the American League and ended up getting a home field advantage in the first round too, over Detroit because Detroit was looking comfortable for most of the season. But Detroit comes into Cleveland and they take away game one with their best pitcher, Scooble. Scooble pitched well. Then he went 7 and 2/3, giving up one earned run. And the Detroit Tigers defeated the Cleveland Guardians 2-1. And now the Guardians face elimination. It's a best 2 out of 3. All three games are in the higher seeds um, ballpark. So all three games will be in Cleveland, and just have not, so Cleveland they're in a must win. If not, they're gone. If not, game three will be Thursday. And then the same as in the National League, the Padres taking on the Cubbies. This game is in Chicago. Right now, the Cubs are up 3 games to 1. Not sure what's going on in there except the score. I could just tell you that the Padres got 1 run on 4 hits, while the Cubs have 3 runs on 6 hits. Can't tell you who did what. Matter of fact, let's go into it, see what the scoring plays are at the very least, and see let you guys know what's going on there. But Suzuki, who's had a great year, especially RBIs, he's one of the RBI leaders in the National League this year. I don't know if he ended up winning the RBIs this year. I'll double check that in a minute, but he hit a solo home run. Kelly has hit a home run as well, and Horner with a sacrifice fly to center. Those are the 3 runs for the Cubs. The Padres struck first in the second inning. They won on a double by Bogarts, bringing in Merrill. Um, Merrill scored, and that's it. That's the score line for the Cubs and Padres. But let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about Yankees Red Sox, biggest rivalry. So much of a big rivalry that hold on one second. Not sure what happened here. Something happened. Give me a second. I got a little technical difficulties here. Oh, okay, here it goes. So speaking of the big time rival in baseball, right? Yankees, Red Sox. Well, all like I said earlier, with as far as the highest seed in the first round, the highest seed in the first round gets all three of their home games in um in their ballpark, right? So the Red Sox are playing the Yankees on the higher seed. The Yankees finished the season at 94-68, while the Red Sox finished at 89-73. So with that being said, the Sox have to travel to the Bronx to play the Yankees 3 straight games. They must win 2 out of 3. So what the Yankees did, right, is that through Ticketmaster, if you are a Red Sox fan trying to buy tickets for this game and you have a Massachusetts um, ID, or if your billing address is in anywhere in Massachusetts, you are not allowed to buy tickets for this game. Now, like everybody else does, listen, most ticket buyers, they get it from third parties like StubHub. Um, what's the other one? Jesus Christ, there's so many different ticket agencies you can get. But basically, if you go through Ticketmaster, the only way you can buy a Yankee ticket is if you have a New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut billing address. If you're buying it on your credit card, debit card, whatever it is, and your billing address is in one of those three states, you're able to buy Yankee tickets. So that's kind of a way to block out as many Red Sox fans as possible. But let's face it, Red Sox fans are going to find a way to get in there, just like any other fan. They find a way to get to any ballpark as long as you got the money. Listen, you're going to buy the tickets, and no matter how much they are, if you're a fan and you really want to go, you're going to end up getting tickets. But I just find this funny. This is pretty petty by the New York Yankees doing this. I find it really hilarious because like I said, and at the end of the day, you can still buy them like at StubHub and geez, I can't remember, I don't know why I can't think of the ticket agencies that I've used before. Dude, I can't. Definitely StubHub is one, but there's one I use often and I can't get off the top of my head. But either way, yeah, I just thought that that's pretty petty and hilarious that the Yankees the Yankee organization has done this. So I just thought that was pretty, pretty, pretty funny. But let's get into it. Like I was saying before, as far as my bets this year, my bets were phenomenal. I took the Cubs. I took the Colorado wins under. I took the Pittsburgh team total under. They both went under by a big shot. I took the Red Sox team win over. I took the Red Sox to make the playoffs because I like the odds. I took the Reds to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs. I took the Twins team under. The only ones that I lost was I lost on the Cleveland. I took the Cleveland Guardians under, and like I mentioned earlier, Cleveland, one of the hottest team in baseball, they were looking really bad, but the month of September they just went on a roll, and they went over the total. And then I also took the Rangers to go over. The Rangers to me were a big disappointment. I was really high in the Rangers this year. They didn't make the playoffs, and they had like a big. I thought they had a big collapse in September as well. So those are the two teams I lost. But other than that, I thought I did great. I cashed out as well. I don't have the ticket here on this laptop because I definitely took a screenshot of it and I downloaded it. And I definitely, if I'm not mistaken, I think I shared it in the video as well when I did in the beginning of the year, or I might have shared it on my post to show that I really took. I just didn't put the dollar amount that I betted on each one. So, but that was my proof, and it had a ticket number and everything. But if I didn't, I'm gonna probably try to share it to show you that I was not kidding. I did the same thing as football as well. When we talked about the over unders, I'm not looking good on some of them. Like for instance, I took the Giants team total wins 5.5. They only got one win so far, so that's not looking too good. But I'm looking good on the. I'm looking decent on the Chiefs under. I think the Chiefs under was like 10.5, and I definitely bet on the Chiefs under. So I believe they're 2-2 right now. So anything can happen there. But yeah, so you know, this year's season was pretty good. Pretty, we saw some first. We saw the guy from the Mariners, Raleigh, hit like 60 home runs as a catcher. I mean, sick year. And then the league leader in home runs in the National League, Cal Schwarber, hit like 54 home runs. The RBI leaders, I said Suzuki. Let me just make sure if he was the leader. He was definitely up there for a while, but Pete Alonso and Cal Schwarber were the leaders in RBI. So Cal Schwarber hit had 132 RBIs while Pete Alonso had 126, and then the AL leader was Cal Raleigh. So it'll be interesting to see who's the MVP in the American League. I mean, how could you not give it to the catcher, uh, Cal Raleigh? You know, but then again, how could you not give it to Aaron Judge? Aaron Judge hit 53 home runs and 114 RBIs, while Riley hit 60 home runs, 125 RBIs. But I believe Judge played like 7 less games. Judge had about 50 less at bats than Riley. So I don't, but and then the batting average, I think Aaron Judge won the batting title hitting 331, and Cal Raleigh hit like 240, hit 247. So interesting stats. We saw a second-year player. He's not eligible for Rookie of the Year. Junior Caminero had a sick year this year. 45 home runs, 110 RBIs, hit 264. He's definitely one of the future stars in Major League Baseball. Suzuki of the Cubs ended up with 103 RBIs, so he didn't have the second half that he was on pace to hit. He ended up with 103 RBIs, but for a while in the first half, he was the league leader in RBIs. He had 32 home runs, Suzuki, and he hit for 245. Shohei Ohtani had a great year as well, but not a Shohei Ohtani year, right? We're used to seeing a Shohei Ohtani, you know, having monster years. But to me, this is a monster year, but maybe not up to Otani standards, which is crazy. Maybe because he didn't get to really pitch, but he will be eligible to pitch more in the playoffs. They had him pitch like an inning here, hitting there in the second half of the season, kind of work him through the injury he came off of. But he ended up with 55 home runs, 102 RBIs, and he hit for 282. So that's pretty sick numbers. I wonder if he wins the MVP or if they give it to Cal Schwarber, who ended up, like I said before, 56 home runs, 132 RBIs. He led the league in National League in both home runs and RBIs. His batting average is low at 240 with a slugging percentage of 563. So, but that's it. I mean, another bright, I guess, whatchamacallit, another bright young player had a great year. Rookie came up, and he's most likely going to win Rookie of the Year. If he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, it's ridiculous. But Nick Kurtz of the Oakland Athletics came in, only played 117 games, 420 at bats, hit 36 home runs. That's pretty impressive. 36 home runs in your rookie year, 86 RBIs, and he hit 290. To me, as a slugger, first baseman, not slugger, hitting 290 and up, close to 300, I think that's great, great, great numbers. So look for him in the future, Nick Kurtz. And then my guy, we didn't even talk no pitching stats. I don't really want to get too much into it. I'll probably make another live recap some of this, but my guy Paul Skeens, who I did like 2 videos last year on. I was really high on him. He led the league in ERA, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the pitching stats. Give me a second right here. But Paul Skeens, and playing on the Pittsburgh Pirates, where you're not getting much run support, I thought he had a fantastic year. Let me go to National League. I'm just looking at the stats now. But Paul Skeens, he went 10-10 with an ERA of less than 2, 1.97. ERA, 10-10. Probably lost a lot of those games because no run support. And how many strikeouts? He didn't lead the league in strikeouts, but he had 216 strikeouts. 260 strikeouts in 183 innings pitched. So that's well over 1 strikeout per inning. The league leader in strikeouts was Logan Webb, who had a great year for the Giants. He's always been, a great pitcher, in baseball, and he's, the Giants ace. He went 15-11 with a 3.22 ERA with 224 strikeouts and 207 innings pitched. So, big surprises here. Jesus Luzardo had a great year at 15-7. ERA is kind of high, 3.92, but 216 strikeouts and 183 innings. So that's pretty impressive as well. Freddie Peralta had a great year as well, 17-6 with a 2.7 ERA, 204 strikeouts and 176 innings. And that Brewer team is very, very scary team. They're my pick to come out of the National League, but anything can happen in baseball. Now that they expanded it to 12 teams, you know, the top teams have to take a break for like a week, and I don't like that in baseball because you can get cold very, very quick. So they got to wait until the weekend before they start playing. So, but I favor the Brewers to come out of the National League to the World Series. And the American League, I favor Seattle. I'm very high in the Seattle Mariners this year. I think they have a good rotation to take them um, through to the World Series. Of course, I'll be rooting for my Yankees. They got to get by the Red Sox first. If they do get by the Red Sox, I believe they have to go and play Toronto. Toronto had a great year as well. You know, um, I feel like they can beat Toronto as well. I think this is the year that Judge really needs to do better in the postseason. He hasn't done quite as good in the postseason in recent years, but we need Judge to kind of carry this team. So I could see them maybe matching up with the Mariners for the AL pennant. But this is why we play the games. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Let me just go quickly to the American League pitching stats. And the league leaders there, Gary Crochet, who is definitely who's starting game one against Fried of the New York Yankees. Garrett Crochet, who went 18-5 with a 2.59 ERA, definitely going to be trouble for the Yankees tonight. He led the league in strikeouts, 255 strikeouts and 205 innings. He's a beast. He's not the best pitcher in baseball. I think Tariq Skubal is, who pitched today. He went 13-6 with a 2.21 ERA, 241 strikeouts and 195 innings. And not a big surprise. I mean, they thought that this kid was going to be solid, a solid pitcher. I thought so too. I had him in pretty much all my fantasy leagues. Hunter Brown of the Houston Astros went 12-9 with a 2.43 ERA, 206 strikeouts, and 185 innings. Toronto Blue Jays with their ace Kevin Gausman, had a losing record with 10-11 and 3.59 ERA, 189 strikeouts, and 193 innings. But it's going to be interesting. The Mariners, they got Brian Wu, who's been fantastic this year, but he just had an injury. Don't know if he's going to be ready for the next round in playoffs. It would be very disappointing if he didn't pitch. He went 15-7 with a 2.94 ERA, 198 strikeouts and 186 innings. Followed by Logan Gilbert, who went 6-6 with a 3.44 ERA, 173 strikeouts and 131 innings. They got a nice little 1-2 combo for the playoffs. And then they got the veteran Luis Castillo, who can be a monster at every given day on the mound. He went 11-8 with a 3.54 ERA, with 162 strikeouts and 180 innings. His strikeouts went down. Usually, he's a one strikeout per inning, a little bit lower than usual. WHIP of 1.18. But to me, I think in the playoffs, the Mariners have probably one of the most solid up and down rotations in baseball. So that's why I favor them to make it to the World Series. Pitching wins championships, right? Like defense wins championships in football. Well, in baseball, pitching wins. So that's why I favor the Mariners to win. And I don't know if they win the World Series, but I'm definitely picking them to make it to the World Series. And I like the Brewers. I like Milwaukee to win the whole thing. So with that being said, I don't really have nothing more. I just wanted to come on here, talk a little baseball before the Yankee game started. I'm still at work. I'll be headed home in a little bit. Who else is in the building? Vacay Bay. Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you coming through. This is I think it's your first live checking out, but I'll probably drop a video later tonight, or if not tomorrow, baseball related. Being that I haven't done much videos, just to recap the season more and maybe share that ticket, not the ticket, the tickets that I put through that I hit this year. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy the playoffs. Let's go give you an update on the baseball game happening now. The Cubs won the game. They ended up winning 3-1. So they take the game one of the series versus the Padres. So good to see the Cubs in the playoffs too. Cubs had a great year with their young kid Pete Crow Armstrong. He went 0 for 3 today, but he had a great year this year as well. That was one of the Mets' big prospects that they traded, if anybody knows. So the Mets taking L's right and left. But that's all I got, guys. I really hope you enjoy this, and there's only one thing left to say, pretty much, right? Let's go Yankees. Take care, guys. We'll talk later. Peace.